Welcome to my energy update. So, I should just call this video the new moon sandwich because we're the meat in the middle, aren't we, at the moment? And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing because right now I've got flu on board, nothing major, but it's there. It's dragging a bit of a tractor tire behind me and it kicked in severely yesterday. So let's talk about that first of all. So I've got about 4 points here to do with the new moon. I suppose you could call this a new moon energy update, but we're not really at the new moon yet. So let's see what happens between now and then. But I thought being halfway through the month, thereabouts, great time to kind of share what's been going on Gospel of Marie, right? So that new moon sandwich, we are here, okay? And I do believe that all of these synchronistic events through astrology, we got to look at that, right? Because as we've moved into a higher level of ascension, as we descend into the body, these astrological events, you just can't write it, can you? Because it's like a power surge to assist us in moving forward with everything that we do. And it's quite incredible. And you're looking around the world, governments are changing. Things is just it's happening, it's really, really happening. Those changes are now showing up in your physical reality. How long have we walked this path having all these inner aha moments, as I call them, where we're like, oh, wow, got the memo, had a huge channel that came through. I get that. And then you go for a reading with someone and you're like, oh my God, I get that too. And you get very excited, but then you keep looking around your outer reality and you're like, still here though. And it does take quite some time for your outer reality to catch up with your inner world. Sometimes it's 6 months, maybe even longer. We all kind of understand and know that sometimes when we've got the memo on something, we've looked several years down the line, you're like, wow, that's only happened now. So it really just depends, doesn't it? But what I want to say is where we are now, that ain't happening. We are getting to a point where we manifest so quickly now that what we think we perceive, we manifest, and it's happening. And we're now starting to really get access to our superpowers, as it were, in that realm. And, it's the same old, same old. We were never broken. That's the biggest hindrance to every single one of us, thinking that we were broken, right? So we're just constantly healing, constantly healing, constantly healing. Look, I do think we need respite and rejuvenation and relaxation and restoration and all of those things. But we were never ever broken. So we're now starting to get onto that concept and really kind of embody that and go, right, all we need to do right now is recognize and know ourselves that we are indeed an extension of the I am. You know what I mean? We are part of it. So we start to shift our reality now to that. And instead of looking at things that we think are bust, they're not. What we need to do is actually just feel the consciousness in our bodies, present moment vibes, and just that breath you feel in your chest, know that is that. Even when I close my eyes, and we can do it now, closing your eyes, just put your hands up like this and feel the tingling in your fingers. Feel the tingling in your feet. That's consciousness. Feel the breath in your chest. That's consciousness. So I find that when I do that, it's a powerful reminder for me to just not think that there's anything wrong and just go, oh yeah, I'm part of it all. I'm okay. And it's everything is perception. Everything is mind. The principle of mentalism, principle number 1 of the Hermetic principles, that is where it begins. It's the first principle that we need to master to be able to change everything. You can't bypass that one. It's got to start here. So perception is everything, right? So now let's get back to the new moon sandwich. So, for good reason, we've had this astrological alignment because we're just ramping it up. And I really do feel that we are still in the chalice. We are in the Holy Grail. We are in the womb, whatever. I said in my previous videos, there's nothing for us to action here. Yet we're purging. Yet the energies have been intense, but it's still different to previous months. This December is different. What we are experiencing now, Gospel of Marie, is the allowance and leadership of our divine feminine. So what we're actually going through now, if you're purging like me, it's actually allowing the divine feminine to step in and lead the way, letting go of the need to know, letting her just take care of it all, and having that deepest trust with her, and just sitting back and relaxing. We've never been at this point to be able to get to this point, if you know what I mean, to let it just exhale and let her lead. But it's still going to be a little bit traumatic, which is where the purging is coming from, because it's blind faith. It's blind faith. So she is in control. And I've written here, she leads. It's blind faith because the divine feminine mysteries is all about the mysteries versus the divine masculine, which is all about, X plus Y equals Z, right? There's always a conclusion. There's always the divine masculine has to look at things, equate things and go, right, if I put that there, that's going to happen and we're good for that, da, da, da. So that's how the divine masculine works, because it's all about templates, formulas and support structures and things like that. Divine feminine, it's like she is... Well, first of all, she can be extremely soft and gentle, but she can also be really fierce and take you to your deepest, darkest shadow, right? So she's this mystery. I mean, who knows? You can't describe her, but she leads you through the mist. She leads you into the dark, dark waters. You know what I mean? You will never be able to see, because there is no conclusion with the divine feminine. There are no answers. So the true embodiment of the divine feminine is letting go of the need to know, letting go of having to have an answer. And that then takes you out of the over control of the divine masculine and just sits you in the lap of the divine feminine as she coasts the way. Hey, not easy, but it's like, that's where we are right now. And I believe this is what's being gifted to us in divine feminine. Now, in December, divine feminine. So now, just to bring that into the flow, okay, that, December brought us also a full moon, okay, which is in Gemini, which is the lovers. So relationships with self, relationships with your husband, wife, whatever, those are all at play big time at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Harmonious relationships, they must be. They must value you as much as you value them. They must love you and adore you as much as you love and adore them. If it is anything less than that, cut it loose. Make sure you do the inner work to understand the lesson, then cut it loose, right? So that's also very much up front and center as well. That's in the mix, because our relationship with the divine feminine must be one, right? So now, going into instinct, I spoke about this with Sekhmet. I was in Egypt and I gave an offering. I gave an offering to her when I was there in May. And then through guidance, she said, you're going to give that to me in a certain way. And I was like, okay, fine. So I trusted that, but I sat with it because I wasn't sure. And I was like, was that her speaking or is it me speaking? And I was really conscious and really, really took my time to discern that message that I got to do this offering was actually from her, not Marie's wishful thinking. And I did it. And my life changed exponentially so. In Egypt recently, same thing. But I didn't think about it. I just did it. And then only at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even take counsel with her. Ask her if it's okay. So I went into massive doubt because I didn't want to offend Sekhmet. So when I sat with her and I closed my eyes and I just said, right, okay, I'm so sorry if I overstepped the mark and I did something I shouldn't have done because I didn't even ask permission. And she said, no, it was already there. That was instinct. Animal instinct, Sekhmet, animal instinct. When one has embodied a level of power, I suppose, then you start to work instinctually, right? And that is basically acting without thought, action without thought, not recklessly, you just do it. And think about that. That's the higher self working through us going, right, it's done. Rather than sitting here, human Marie, going, oh, higher self, where are you? Sekhmet, where are you? Can we have a little chat? And you know what I mean? It was like, it's instantaneous. It's in the moment. It's present moment vibes. So instinct is very much another attribute of the divine feminine. So you're going to find yourself kind of working like that a lot quicker and a lot on the ball. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it, okay? Now, the other point, I've got point 3 here, okay? Things falling apart. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, I went through it since the 12/12 portal, okay? I was absolutely flying high. Got to the 12/12 portal, very energy sick, but it was 3 days before the full moon. So that just came in and that's when I always get quite sick. So that came in, got a lot of cancer in my chart, purge, really dark, really heavy. And that was a final purging of the last plug, pushing it out to do with your power block, right? And it kind of had this perception that everything was falling down around my ears, right? There's certain things that I've obviously got planned in February, going to the States, certain things I've organized and they've just fallen through or they're changing or they're morphing. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So my initial thing was everything's going wrong. Oh my God, panic. And then it was no, I'm being redirected because I don't believe that I'm in that level of disaster anymore. It's basically being reconfigured. Now, the reason it's being reconfigured and changed is because of this purge we're going through now, or this experience we're going through as the divine feminine comes in. Now we've allowed her into a space. She's like, right, okay, let's move that over there. We don't need that. Let's throw that out. Okay, right. We don't need this pen. Okay. Do you know what I mean? And it's that's why. That's what's going on. So we need to just let go and let God, or let go and let her. You know what I mean? So there's this kind of thing going on. Now, Now, I also want to put on your radar as well, if indeed you have gone through a little bit of a shadow time, as have I, what was the tone of the realm that you were in? I'm going to use myself as an example because it's going to give you a great indication as to what you're being prepared for. And I use the word prepared. I'm going to do another video to do with the Sphinx because he has been visiting me in my dreams, and I have some very powerful information I'm going to share. But that warrants its own video because the Sphinx is all about purpose as well, as is Sekhmet. So and he was talking about being prepared. You're being prepared for something. So this month we are being prepared. Doesn't take action from you, just takes trust, right? So as you went through that purge, if you did, now what area of your life was it affecting? Where was it going for you, right? So for example, that full moon, let me just chuck this in the cauldron mix to help you. That full moon was deeply steeped in whatever was going on for you in June. It was there was a 6-month cycle vibe in that full moon of Gemini. Now, for me, I just got back from Egypt and I was about to go to Avalon. So it was all about divine feminine and receiving for me because I was like about to go to Avalon and receive even more from what had happened to me in Egypt. So where were you 6 months ago? Also, the purge that you're going through, what area of your life did it affect? For me, it affected my platforms, how I show up, what I'm teaching, who I'm teaching to, what I'm speaking about, all of those things. So in a way, it's like my divine teachings are changing. And that is the control. I'm like, no, we always do it like this. No, we don't. See, divine feminine won't let me control that. So everything is changing. I got shown certain things. That's the route you got to go now. You're going to leave that behind. You got to face that. And I'm like, wow, okay. So this is more about watching the movies than you taking action. So you're like kind of like watching something on the big screen right now. So what realm of your life did this purge, like hit you in? You know what I mean? So it could be relationships. It could be the fact that like, you know what I mean? You're trying to write a book. It could be the fact that you want to be a spiritual teacher. It could be the fact that you're trying to, I don't know, be from working for yourself, working for others and wanting to work for yourself. There's all these different areas which will all be related to your fullness and power, being in your power. So this is in a way, this last purge was about being powerless into powerful. Okay. So now what was going on for you, right? So with all of this, again, I just want to reiterate, this is not about you taking action. Write this all down in your journal and just observe it because you've done the hard work. When you work with the divine feminine, or rather she works with you and you've let her take the wheel, she's just going to let you, she's going to lead. She's just going to lead. So your only mission right now is to breathe into the biggest trust fall ever, to let go of the need to know. Every time you get an anxiety bubble, just breathe out and just go, it's okay, she's got this. I'm not supposed to know. This is what the divine feminine feels like. I'm not supposed to know. And keep tending to your little inner child freakouts and just tell your inner child, it's okay. Where we're going, we're very, very taken care of, and keep going into that. And that will entrain yourself to just let go, let go. Let go. Refrain from speaking to others about your worries because you're just going to exacerbate that. Remember, the universe will look down at the energy that you are emanating. And if you are emanating doubt or you're constantly talking about your problems, and your worries to go with it, well, your universe is going to give you more to worry about. Do you know what I mean? So this is about every time it comes up, nip it in the bud. It's okay. Divine feminine's leading. You know what I mean? This is just a new way. I'm not ever, I haven't felt this for such a long time of actually just being held and everything being taken care of. Nothing's going wrong here. Absolutely nothing at all. It's just a different way of being. And I haven't allowed this for a long time. And now I'm allowing this because this is a divine feminine. This is what needs to happen. So with this, I'm just going to round this video off now. I will be doing a video on the Great Sphinx because he has been visiting in my dreams, very much so when I was in Egypt. And I did a huge channel on him today, a written channel, and he speaks a lot about what's coming. And he backs up what I'm sharing with you today, which is all about being prepared, nothing to really do. Don't get involved in this frequency, energy, whatever it is you're receiving, because you could distort it and then corrupt the energy or the file that's being opened within you. Do you know what I mean? And like, you just got to be still because in a minute, it's all going to make sense. And when he said in a minute, in a very short time from now, I'm talking like the next month or so. Do you know what I mean? Like that's that close. So don't rush it. Take time for you. Watch the movies, don't get involved, but most of all, hand it over to the divine feminine. And if you can hold on to that frequency and move into the new moon on the 30th, you can breathe into that and then allow yourself to be birthed into a completely different reality. Choose trust. Choose joy. Choose love, because that's where we're going, right? And we're all going to get there. So with that being said, I'm just going to leave it there. For those that are feeling the magic of 2025, Tablets of Light Tour, 9th to the 19th of May, we have some beautiful starseeds gathering. And I just want to say, your soul knows when you're supposed to be there. I've had many chats to people about 2026. Maybe that's for you. I don't know. Your soul knows. But if you are feeling like the flames up your ass because Sekhmet's in your ear, best you get in touch. She told me today, that's another channel I'm going to share with you. She spoke about a lot of you, including me, that she's got special contracts with. And not everybody will be one of her action soldiers, as it were, but there's a lot of you that are. And she said it's coming. So I'll share more on that. So that's another 2 videos I'm going to share with you. But yeah, if you're feeling the Tablets of Light Tour, you know, Egypt is just around the corner, and having just been there, it's giving divine feminine vibes, like ever such a lot. I can't wait until the new timeline. It's basically here. So anyway, with much love, so much love, and tons of peace. Peace, peace, peace. I'm out.